Hello, Uta here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel with a late blooming feverfew and the last of my Cosmos and the Emery Paul Dahlia, which is not looking like it's gonna even open, maybe. But anyway, uh, yes, I'm here to mention how we now know, which we actually did know, but now we know officially, I think, that this boxer from the Olympics, Imane Khaleif, is male, has XY chromosomes, and actually has male genitalia. Now, isn't it sort of interesting that although, now we're told that doesn't have a big size, uh, but if you look at the front of the boxing shorts, that's how it presents. That's, how the front part of his outfits present below the waist. And so none of us are surprised. And I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's very interesting that this came out the day before the American presidential election. And I don't know if that would make more people in New York State go to the polls and vote no on Proposal 1. Even if Proposal 1 does get passed because of brainwashed people and people who think that this is all be nice and this is women's reproductive rights, which are already in New York State law since 2019. This is classic force teaming. It is classic Trojan horse. And this goes back to a list of how to push this through and have institutional capture in the law, codifying that you can change sex and that, there are trans men and trans women, and we have to pretend that they're the opposite sex that they are, and all this. That is from this Yogyakarta principles, and I guess Yogyakarta is someplace in Indonesia or something where these rich dudes like my ex-husband got together on a vacation, which they probably took as a tax-deductible expense, and they put this together. And so that's what Proposition 1 is part of. And I suggest go to YouTube channel from an evolutionary biologist called Brett Weinstein. I'm sorry, I'm not just going to be able to put in all those links because I really have to get out there and do stuff. I was hoping I could get earlier so you could see the woods better, but I'm just not a morning person. So anyway, Brett Weinstein was rather late to the game, but he interviewed an attorney, Bobby something, Roberta, in New York, who is also trying to, pinpoint Proposal 1 as a very anti-women, force teaming, institutional capture, amendment to the New York State Constitution that it is. And so, just 2 days ago or something, when some people have already voted in New York State, he, put this out. But the thing is, there will be challenges. If it does pass, there will be big challenges because the what was on the ballot isn't even actually the same as the language that is in their full proposal. So just there are a lot of corrupt pieces of that. And, if you're one of the New York Staters who doesn't want that to be, just, remember that there are going to be a whole bunch of constitutional challenges. And it seems to me that getting this news about Imane Khaleif being male and beating up women at the Olympics kind of fits in with this institutional capture, legalistic approach, Yogyakarta principles of attempting to insert the language gender identity and gender expression into the New York State Constitution. And the importance of the video that Brett Weinstein put out, I'm trying to remember, I think it's two T's, BRETTWEINSTEIN. That's the name of his channel. He pointed out, as did this attorney that he interviewed, that New York State is just a test case. They, meaning the ACLU and GLAAD and Human Rights Campaign, are testing to see whether they can pass this in New York with their be kind ideas. And then they are making attempts to pass it in every state. And because they have done it with confusing language and because they have force teamed with the rights of people of ethnic minorities and religions, and they have sex in there, so it's actually self-contradictory language, but they're floating this out in New York State. And we'll see. I mean, there wasn't much warning about it, and there wasn't much being said about it. And I happen to know from my local state Senate contest here that the Democratic candidate would not debate anything in Proposal 1 with her Republican opponent, who's actually quite a moderate. He's not talking Project 2025. Okay. And this is just, to let you know that if you come on here commenting and, telling my subscribers here to vote for Democrats because this and this and this and stuff like this, basically, I'm just going to press that button that says hide user from channel, because the same with people on abortion. I see that as personal choices. I personally do not support late-term abortion because it actually affects the psychological and physical safety of the mother. So that's just, where we're at here. In my comments, what I got back was, but you're for free speech. How dare you say you're going to take my comment off? And it's like, oh no, honey, I am operating a channel. I am not going to debate, I've had so many men like my ex-husband, I more than a dozen, come on this channel and say, why am I not allowing comments from men like him to stay up on my channel so that we can debate this? We can debate this malpractice diagnosis in my comments. No. No. You know why? Because Paul let go of this whole delusion. It's so cute. A teenage boy contacts me because of my videos on child development and says he thinks that his face is kind of female and maybe his left hand is kind of female, and he thought he should ask me about this because, he probably has maybe an Asperger diagnosis. He mentioned something like this to me. And I, as you know from my previous videos, I put up the wellness checklist, and I mentioned that I don't really want to discuss anything in detail, but if you have been exposed to pornography on your phone or on the computer, you're too young for this. It's not good for you. It's not good for grown men. And this sometimes is an influence on teenagers. And so put yourself on a social media, internet diet not more than 1 hour a day. And that includes when you have to go online for your homework, and then eating healthy, 8+ hours of sleep, brushing and flossing twice a day. And I suggest brush after you come home from school. And talk more in just normal conversational ways with your parents. Do you have a chance to do gardening somewhere? He mentioned grandma has a garden. And in our weekly communication this week, he said, "Sorry, I just don't have that much to write." After he had kind of panicky written to me, before our designated weekly time, and said, "I'm just worried about this." And I have a feeling he was maybe going back, to looking at a little bit of porn. And then he realized that it made him feel sick. And so he said Paul has been playing board games and, really working on his homework, talking more to mom and dad, and, the gardening thing with grandma. And so that's exactly what I want. I mean, I want him to kind of keep in touch with me a little bit, but he's apparently totally dropped the idea that part of his body is female, and maybe he kind of understood that doing something like the Primal Fitness workout program and taking walks and talking to mom and dad and looking at old family pictures to see how your dad didn't get his man face until he was, I don't know, 21, and grandpa and Uncle Lars and everything. And just, look at that, because boys get worried that they're not going to look manly when they're starting, adolescence, and they're 14, 15 years old. And so there you are. I hope that we don't get a blue, project, the T project, nanny box. All right. I'm going to spend basically the rest of my day outside, and I'm not going to turn on any election news until either tomorrow or even Thursday. You guys take care. Thanks so much.